Another major milestone has just been achieved in Russia's ambitious push to modernize and revive regional aviation. The light multi-purpose LMS-901 Baikal aircraft successfully completed a control test flight at the airfield of the Ural Civil Aviation Plant, also known as UZGA. What made this flight especially important was the use of the domestically developed VK-800 turboprop engine and AV-901 propeller. And for Russia's aviation industry, this was not just another routine test. It was a symbolic moment tied directly to the country's long-term efforts to replace foreign aerospace technology and rebuild a self-sufficient regional aviation sector, Make A. The latest flight took place after the completion of ground frequency tests designed to evaluate the aircraft's systems and overall operational reliability. Officials and test personnel reported that the aircraft performed normally throughout the mission, with the propulsion system operating exactly as intended during the short but extremely significant flight program. Now, here's where the story gets much bigger than just one airplane. The LMS-901 Baikal is not being developed as an ordinary regional aircraft. Russia wants this plane to eventually replace the legendary Antonov An-2 biplane, an aircraft that has been flying across remote Soviet and Russian territories for decades. The An-2 is still widely used in Siberia, the Russian Far East, and isolated northern regions where rugged short-field capability is absolutely essential. And honestly, replacing the An-2 is not a simple task at all. The aircraft has almost mythical status in parts of Russia because it can operate from rough airstrips, frozen terrain, and remote settlements where modern aircraft often struggle. So when altitude addicts looked into the broader reactions surrounding the Baikal project, one thing became obvious. Many people in the aviation community are watching closely because replacing the An-2 is considered one of the toughest regional aviation challenges Russia has attempted in years. Russia hopes the LMS-901 Baikal will eventually fulfill that role using modern avionics, improved fuel efficiency, and fully domestic components. The aircraft is viewed as critical for preserving transportation links across enormous regions where roads and railways are either unreliable or completely absent. Deputy Minister of Industry and Trade, Gennady Abramenkov, described the successful test as a major event for Russia's aviation industry. According to the ministry, the aircraft's systems worked normally during the flight, while the VK-800 engine demonstrated strong reliability. The actual control flight itself was relatively short, but from an engineering perspective, it carried major importance. According to UZGA test pilot Alexei Yazinin, the aircraft flew for around 15 minutes at an altitude of approximately 300 meters. He stated that the power plant functioned properly and that no abnormalities or technical remarks were observed during the mission. The flight reportedly followed the planned test profile exactly as intended. These kinds of flights may seem small to outsiders, but they are crucial in aircraft certification programs. Engineers use them to confirm that systems operate correctly under real-world conditions after completing extensive ground evaluations. Engine stability, avionics functionality, vibration levels, and onboard system integration all have to be checked carefully before a new aircraft can move towards certification. And this is where things get especially important for Russia's domestic aerospace ambitions. The successful flight came after years of effort focused on integrating the VK-800 engine into the aircraft. The VK-800 is viewed as one of the key pillars of Russia's attempt to build an independent light aviation ecosystem without relying on foreign suppliers. The turboprop engine is currently being developed in several versions for multiple aircraft platforms, including the LMS-901 Baikal and the UTS-800 trainer aircraft. Russian aviation officials see the engine family as a foundational component for future regional aviation projects. Earlier prototypes of the Baikal actually relied on foreign-made engines. Specifically, they used the GE H-80 turboprop engine, which itself was based on Czech Walter engine designs. But geopolitical tensions, sanctions, and supply chain restrictions gradually made long-term dependence on foreign propulsion systems increasingly difficult for Russia. So yes, the VK-800 became much more than just another engine program. It turned into a political and industrial priority. And there's kind of a bigger message behind all this too. Russia is trying to prove that its aviation industry can continue developing aircraft even under heavy technological restrictions. The LMS-901 Baikal itself is designed as a rugged single-engine turboprop aircraft capable of carrying up to 9 passengers or roughly 1.5 to 2 tons of cargo, depending on the configuration. According to developers, the aircraft is specifically intended for harsh climatic and geographic conditions, including remote settlements and unprepared airstrips. Planned missions include passenger transportation, cargo delivery, medical evacuation, forestry operations, and a variety of utility roles. The aircraft is expected to cruise at speeds between 250 and 300 kilometers per hour, with a flight range of approximately 1,500 kilometers. The design itself is intentionally straightforward. High-wing aircraft configurations like this are often preferred in rugged environments because they provide better ground clearance and operational flexibility. And honestly, the airplane kind of looks exactly like what you would expect from something designed to spend years operating in frozen wilderness settlements and rough regional airstrips. Russia also expects the Baikal to feature short takeoff and landing capability, something absolutely necessary for serving undeveloped airfields across the country's vast territory. Without that capability, the aircraft simply would not be able to replace the An-2 in many remote regions. But despite all the optimism surrounding the recent flight, the Baikal program has faced significant criticism and delays over the years. Although the aircraft first flew in early 2022, the project later encountered technical challenges, changing timelines, and growing scrutiny regarding costs and certification delays. At various points, discussions even emerged inside Russia questioning whether the project might be canceled or fundamentally redesigned. Some aviation observers argued that integrating the new VK-800 engine required major engineering changes. Others questioned whether the aircraft could truly replicate the legendary low-speed handling and rugged field performance of the An-2. And to be fair, those concerns were not entirely unreasonable. The An-2 is still respected worldwide for its ability to operate in extremely difficult conditions from primitive airstrips. Replacing an aircraft with that kind of reputation is incredibly difficult even with modern technology. Despite the criticism, the Russian government continued supporting the project because regional aviation remains strategically important for the country. Officials repeatedly emphasized that isolated regions depend heavily on aviation to maintain economic and social connectivity. At the same time, the Baikal program has become deeply connected to Russia's wider import-substitution strategy. Since sanctions intensified, Russian aerospace manufacturers have accelerated efforts to replace imported components with domestically produced alternatives. Aircraft engines are among the most technologically demanding products in aerospace manufacturing. So developing a reliable domestic turboprop engine is considered a major achievement for the industry. And according to Altitude Addict's review of Russian aviation discussions, many observers now see the VK-800 as a test of whether Russia can realistically maintain an independent civil aviation sector under sanctions pressure. The engine family may eventually power several different aircraft platforms in the future beyond just the Baikal. That possibility has made the program symbolic of Russia's broader industrial ambitions. But even after this successful control flight, there is still a very long road ahead. Certification testing must continue. Production capacity has to expand. Operational reliability needs to be proven across thousands of flight hours. And then there's the whole issue of affordability, because producing enough aircraft to replace aging An-2 fleets across Russia will require enormous industrial and financial support. Reports also suggest that additional Baikal aircraft equipped with the VK-800 engine and AV-901 propeller are joining the broader certification campaign. Using multiple prototypes allows engineers to accelerate testing by assigning different aircraft to separate tasks, such as avionics evaluation, structural analysis, or aerodynamic testing. Meanwhile, development of the VK-800 engine family itself is continuing at an accelerated pace. Russian aviation reports indicate that multiple variants of the engine are now being tailored for different aircraft categories. Developers believe this modular approach could simplify logistics, maintenance, and future production for domestic aviation fleets. And honestly, this is where the story becomes bigger than one airplane again. The Baikal is increasingly being treated as a symbol of Russia's attempt to rebuild self-sufficiency in aerospace manufacturing. For altitude addicts, one of the most interesting parts of this entire story is how regional aviation has suddenly become tied directly to geopolitics, sanctions, and industrial strategy all at the same time. The successful control flight has now given the program fresh momentum after years of uncertainty, redesigns, and political scrutiny. Whether the aircraft ultimately succeeds on a large scale still remains uncertain. Certification, operational reliability, mass production, and economic viability will ultimately determine its future. But for now, Russia's LMS-901 Baikal has once again taken an important step forward. And if the aircraft eventually enters widespread service, it could become one of the defining symbols of Russia's future regional aviation network and its broader drive for aerospace independence.
According to the test programs of the VK-800 SM engine, a number of ground tests of this engine were carried out, as well as taxiing, high-speed runs and approaches on the aircraft LMS-901 equipped with this power plant. Tests are carried out according to test programs. The results obtained made it possible to start high-speed runs and flights. The main parameters of the power plant in normal characteristics are expected according to calculations.
We thank the people who have liked, subscribed the channel, and shared the videos. We also thank the channel membership for encouraging us. Last but not least, we also thank the viewers who have hyped our videos.